I wasn't lying when I said that this ingredient is in your pantry. Hey everyone, James here from Sweet Science of Fighting, and if you learned some new information today in this video, please drop a thumbs up on the like button. It's going to help my YouTube channel grow. It's going to help me make more useful content for your fight performance. So your best pre-workout for cardio isn't something you're going to find online in a pre-workout formula. It's a simple ingredient you'll find in your pantry, and it's baking soda. So baking soda also goes by the name of sodium bicarbonate. Now if you go into the description, I've got some links to where you can buy bigger bags of this, because your normal pantry bought baking soda is not going to be enough for you for your pre-workout. So check the description and I can find you some bigger bulk bags. It's all well and good for me to tell you that baking soda is the pre-workout you need for your cardio. But what does the research say on this topic? Luckily for us as combat sports athletes, there's actually been a lot of research done on sodium bicarbonate or baking soda in most of the martial arts and combat sports. So let's start with boxing. In international and national level amateur boxers, we see enhanced work rates over 4 rounds compared to a placebo. In professional boxers, we see similar, where we see double the time to exhaustion during a run. Karate is another martial art that has used sodium bicarbonate, and they found 9% increases in time to exhaustion when they're performing specific karate tests. In Taekwondo, we see improved average and peak power outputs of kicks. In judo, during the special judo fitness test, we see more throws being performed with those that take baking soda beforehand versus the placebo. We also see improvements in average and peak power as well. We also have jiu-jitsu who's used baking soda, but they found no improvements in isometric leg endurance tests. Now this is likely because they chose a test that's reliant on force output versus endurance through energy systems. Finally, we have elite level wrestlers. Now, this study is quite interesting because they found no difference between the placebo and the baking soda group when it came to the dummy throw test or the anaerobic capacity. But when they split them into males and females within the data set, they see that males significantly improved the number of throws they could perform within the dummy test, whereas females did not. So perhaps there may be some kind of gender effect here with baking soda where it works better in male athletes than female athletes. So how does baking soda actually work to improve your endurance? Now, one of the mechanisms of fatigue, of muscular fatigue, is a buildup of byproducts in the muscle. Now, if you took basic chemistry at school and you understand the pH scale, we have 7, which is pH neutral. Anything below 7 is becoming acidic, and anything above 7 to 14 is basic or alkaline. As we exercise fatigue, we get that buildup of lactate. Now, lactate is not the cause of fatigue, but along with lactate, we get a buildup of these byproducts. And one of these byproducts are hydrogen ions. And these hydrogen ions, known as H+, are acidic. And what they do is they start turning the muscle acidic, and this acidity starts to impact muscle contractile function, meaning as we build up more of these H+ ions, we become more acidic, and we cannot contract or produce as much force, and that's when we start to fatigue. So where does baking soda come into this? Well, baking soda or sodium bicarbonate is actually an alkaline solution. So when we have our H+ ions building up the acidity side, we can counteract that with baking soda. So if I'm someone who took baking soda before training, I now have a buffer where I can start to mitigate a lot of the H+ ion buildup and the acidity buildup, and I can last longer before becoming too acidic, where I start to impact muscle contractile function. If I'm someone who did not take baking soda beforehand, I'm going to become more acidic faster than the other person. So how much baking soda should you take and when? So the research suggests that you should take 0.2 to 0.4 grams per kilogram of body weight, and you should take this anywhere from 60 to 120 minutes before your training. So for example, if you weigh 100 kilos, you would take anywhere from 20 to 40 grams of baking soda 1 to 2 hours before your session or before competition. But here are some important notes you should know before you start using sodium bicarbonate. And one is, some people can experience some stomach discomfort when they take it. Taking that much can cause some stress there, so you're going to have to play around with it. Start with that dose, take it before training. If you don't feel good, there are some other strategies that you can use so you don't have that discomfort. And secondly, the absorption rate tends to be individual. So some individuals can absorb the sodium bicarbonate very quickly within 10 minutes. Some take up to an hour for it to have an effect. So you're just gonna have to play around with that timing in that 1 to 2 hour window. Now, if you do experience stress or stomach discomfort after taking a large amount of sodium bicarbonate, there's another strategy you can use, which is called the loading strategy. And this strategy has shown to be effective within the literature as well. And to use the loading strategy, all you're going to do is take your dose. So for example, if you were that 100 kilo individual and you were going to take 30 grams for that day for training, instead of taking all 30 grams an hour before training, you can split that dose up and you can do 10 grams in the morning, 10 grams at lunch, and 10 grams at dinner. And that way you can still get your 30 grams dose in, but you're going to load that throughout the day. It should place less stress on your stomach and you're still going to get those endurance benefits. So if you learned something new, please leave a thumbs up down below. Also, check the description. I have a blog post on this topic that goes through this in even more detail, so you can get a real in-depth insight into sodium bicarbonate as your pre-workout for cardio. In there as well has all the references you can check out. And if there's anything you want me to cover, throw it in the comments below and I'll have a read.